Hi everyone, this is Elisa from Anaya's Toy Box Crochet, and Eid Mubarak everybody! I hope you had a really wonderful Eid for all of you who celebrate. Yes, so we had a nice one. We stayed home, but it was nice. Anyways, we still dressed up and ate lots of food. All the Eid stuff. Anyways, thank you all for coming. I really do enjoy showing off my makes, and I love that you guys come to see it. I haven't been around for a bit. I'll tell you a little bit about it. We went to Vancouver. I believe I told you before I left that we're going to Vancouver, and I had fully intended to make at least a jibber jabber video while I was there, but I forgot to take my tripod. So yeah, somebody's commenting while I talk. But anyways, yeah. I forgot to take my tripod, so it didn't happen. And then I thought I'd be able to film last Sunday, but we had plane problems on our way back. I was supposed to come back on Saturday, but we ended up coming back on Sunday. So here I am, finally, to tell you what I've been up to. All right, so I'm going to jump right at it because, you know, it's been a little bit and I have some stuff to show. First off, I'm going to show you this Samuel the Bear by La Crocheteria. It is a paid for pattern, and I finally finished him. I think I mentioned that I was thinking about making him into a bunny at first because the pattern I have is both bunny and bear. They're the same body, just the ears are different. And I love making bunnies, so I was going to make a bunny, but I've made so many bunnies recently, I decided I'll stick to bear. So I made this Samuel the Bear. I think I had finished all the crochet last time I showed it to you. I'm not sure. It was a while ago. And I just need to sew it together. So it's sewn together. It is done. Here he is. I think he's cute. I used those sparkly eyes on him. I don't normally buy, you know, fancy eyes. I do prefer like plain black eyes for the most part, but I feel like this particular one with the brown and the gray and cream, this is a latte cake, by the way. I forget the color number. I think it's tiramisu. I'm not sure though. It's leftovers from a sweater I made years and years ago, like seriously so long ago that my daughter already grew out of it. And I still have leftovers of it. So I thought I'll finish it up here. I have a little bit left. It's going to go in a basket. But here he is done. So this is Samuel the Bear. I chose the blue eyes, as I was saying, before I distracted myself, because he's so monochromatic. I wanted to put a little bit of color somehow. So that is the first one I'm going to show you. My second FO is this whale. And I don't remember anything about it. Except, so I have to look it up. This whale is a crochet pattern by Amigurunos Softy. It is a free pattern. I got it from her I found it on Ravelry, which linked it to her vlog, and I made it. I did adjust the pattern to make it a little bigger because I crochet tied it. It was turning out smaller than this, so I thought I'd make it bigger by adding 2 more rows of increases. I added 2 extra rows of, you know, just single crochet rounds to make up for the fact that I made it 2 rows of increase. I made it a little longer, and then I had to adjust the bottom. I don't remember what I did, but I remember that was the tricky part. I made the flippers right here a little bigger. I made 1 more row of increases, and each of the tails I made on the back, I made 1 more row of increases. But that's what I did. But the pattern itself, if you have a looser tension, you should be able to get a whale this size. So I made him, and I am rushing because I don't know, I have a lot to show. I think I have a lot to show. And finally, I made this TRex. This is a pattern by Critter Beans. I have made it many times. It is a paid for pattern that I bought ages ago, and I felt like making him, so I made a little dinosaur. There he is. He's cute. I have bought 2 or 3 dinosaur patterns. And this is one of my, you know, when I want a smaller dinosaur, I go to him. And I have another one that I love, which is a little bigger, that I use a lot. But I haven't used it in a while. But anyways, this is it. This is my Critter Beans TRex pattern. And I really enjoyed it. Now, my last FO is this. You didn't even see this one yet. Let me just make sure I'm showing you the right side. I am. Here it is. This is, can you see the texture there? Isn't it gorgeous? See that texture? This is the Feeling Fancy Shawl. Come on, focus. There we go. This is the, I think, Feeling Fancy or Just Feel Fancy shawl. It is by Amanda, the Obsessive Crochet Lady. And I'm just going to double check that I got the, yeah, it is Feeling Fancy Shawl. And this is by Amanda, the Obsessive Crochet Lady. And I love it. This one I made entirely on the, well, I made it on the plane. I started on the plane. I think there's a short about me starting it. And then I worked on it in Vancouver and finished it in Vancouver. I love it. It's gorgeous. It is by Amanda, the Obsessive Crochet Lady. I don't know if I said that or if I had interrupted myself when I was starting to say that. This is what it looks like. There is supposed to be more lace at the bottom. There's supposed to be at least 2 more rows of this lacy bit. But I wasn't sure how much yarn it was going to take. I think I either underestimated how much yarn this would take or I overestimated how much this row would take because I was debating whether I should make this row or not. If I didn't make this row, I would have been able to make it, finish the lace. But I wasn't going to undo it after I already made it. So I just said, okay, I'm living with this. So here it is. To get this pattern, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to link her down below so you can find her email address. You do need to email her and then tell her that you want it and she'll instruct you on how to get the pattern. But I do enjoy this. I used Hobie yarn for this, Hobie Carnival. And the yarn is beautiful in the skein. It really is. It is gorgeous in the skein. I love how it turned up, I think up to this one right here. And after that, not so much. Like, I really don't like this part right here. I am starting to think that I need to stop buying yarn that looks pretty as a skein and start making my own stripes, I think. I think I need to go and just get solid colors and then decide, okay, I finished this skein, the next skein is going to be this color, and the next skein is going to be this color, instead of buying it like this. Or maybe, although I don't mind so much when the color changes are bigger, but it's a very pretty shawl. I'm just not sure I like the way the color changes. This is how it will look if you wear it. It's not a bad size. I used 3 skeins of this. And yeah, oh gosh, it looks so odd with a hijab. Anyways, yeah, you should try it out. It's a very easy pattern and it took me very little time. I used a 8mm hook. Why did I use an 8mm hook? Because the hook is plastic and I was taking it on the plane. All right, so those are all my FOs. I whizzed through it, didn't I? So I'm going to show you, I did give some love to my bigger projects. And a lot of love to this one. I'm going to show you this. Look, it looks like I made a dent in it, doesn't it? It doesn't look quite as big as it used to. Because I worked on my Turbulence Shawl a lot. Now, let me see if I can find everything. All right, here we are. See that? See how much I worked on it? I was here last time I showed it to you. Look at that. And the colors are changing again. I'm getting to the more deeper pinks right now. And it's so beautiful. I love this yarn. I love this yarn. And I love this shawl. It's so pretty. Look at that. It's beautiful. I'm not going to show too much of it because seriously, I've been showing it to you every week for like since last June. Or every once in a while since last June. But this is the amount I worked on it. And I've never worked this much on it before. Like, just keep in mind, it's really long here now.
Since last June?
I started this last June, yeah.
Dang, it's been like a year.
Yeah, it's almost a year. We're almost in May. yeah, so this is really long, so each row does take a while, so I've worked on it a lot. This is definitely the project that has gotten the most love since you last saw it. But anyways, I'm getting close to done. Look, I'm going to show it to you again. Look, you can see a dent. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, knitting takes so little yarn. If this was crochet, the amount I crocheted, this yarn would have been finished by now, because crochet takes so much more yarn than knitting. But anyways, I did that. So let's see, what else am I going to show you? I'm going to show you Colleen. Colleen, I don't know if I showed it last time, but I started working on a doll. This doll has so much detail. I think I started showing you that I was working on her head. I finished her head. It's gonna go on like that. I haven't sewed it on yet, obviously. And here's her body. This doll is gonna take a little while. I'm using a 2mm hook, which is somewhere in there. I can't take it out. And this is a Hobie 84. This is the Mia Mila yarn. This is my favorite skin tone in Shippies, however it is you pronounce it. I don't know how you pronounce it, but this is my favorite color. It's called Topaz, and the number is 179. I have just a little bit of it left. I hope I have enough for I have this much left, and I have enough for the arms, because if this is not enough for the arms, I do have another skein. This one over here is also the Mila Mila. It's the same color as this. This color right here is DMC Natura. The gray right here is Hobie Rainbow. I don't know what color. And the blue is also Hobie Rainbow. They're both 8/4s, because this is sport weight yarn that I'm using to make this doll. This doll is gorgeous. It's beautiful, and I do want to work it up, which is why I'm doing it. But it was easier to make dolls like this when my daughter was younger and would play with it, because I can make whatever doll I want and I just give it to her and not have to worry. But now, this doll has 3 layers of skirt. So this is just the bottom layer. There's going to be a gray layer on top of it, and then there'll be a blue layer on top of it. The head is so much work. Even this is so much work. I'm not sure how. Well, I know I'm going to have to price it high, but I'm not sure anyone will want to buy it, because it's still going to be like a 11-inch doll. But there's so much work on dolls like this, and part of me, I want to make it, which is why I'm making it, but part of me feels like, Elisa, why are you making it? You're just going to have it lying in a duffel bag. No one's going to buy this, because you're going to have to price it so high because of the sheer amount of details there is in this. I'm making it. But I think in the future I need to pay more attention to how much details I want to put into a doll to make it more price accessible. I mean, these dolls are expensive, period, because there is a lot of work already built in before you put all these details in it. There's already a lot of work in these dolls. And then once you put the details, you're putting hours and hours extra work into it. So I have to think, instead of just saying, hey, I'll make whatever I want and I'll just give it to my daughter. I can't do that anymore. If I'm going to sell, I need to think about the amount of time I'm going to put into each doll. So this might be the last doll I make like this. But I'm enjoying it while I'm making it. I am. Look at her. She looks so cute, doesn't she? Again, this skirt isn't finished. This is an underskirt. There is 2 underskirts and then an overskirt. There is, I didn't make the arms yet. There's a lot of details. But I am enjoying it, and hopefully next time you see it, at least the skirts will be finished. I'll see how I do. But anyways, I'm done with that one. I'm working on that one. I like it. Part of me is worried about what I'm going to do with it afterwards and whether it will sell. But I like it. All right, and so I have one more project to show you, and that is my cardigan. This is right now, I just want to make sure I don't undo anything when I am right now on my 4th skein of it, and I have bought another ball because I don't think I have enough yarn. But here it is. It is not done, but I finished the body. I finished the border in the front. So it was right here when I last showed it to you. So I finished all of this. Then I did the front panel. So this part is done. And all I have left is the sleeves. And honestly, I have slowed down on this. I'm not picking up this project quite as much since I started the sleeves. And I think it's because the last time I made a cardigan, I messed up on the sleeves, and I'm so terrified I'm going to mess up again. Part of me wants to wait, but I don't know if I will, till the second skein, the last skein of this yarn arrives, so that I could work like, 2 rows of this sleeve, and then 2 rows of the other sleeve, just to make sure they're the same. Just in case you don't know what happened, how did I mess up last time? I messed up by making the sleeves the wrong, like 2 different sizes last time. So I don't want to have that same mess up in this. But I am, I'm probably going to work on it. Who knows when the second one, I am probably going to work on it. And I will try to finish the sleeves by next time. I don't know if I will. At least 1 sleeve. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I am reaching for this less than I was before. And I think the main reason is because I'm a little anxious about the sleeves. Hopefully I'll get it right. Wouldn't it be nice if I got one cardigan right? No. It would be so nice. I am working on my 3rd, I'm talking about for myself. I have made stuff for her. I have made a sweater for her, a pullover sweater that she wore and outgrew already. I have made a top for her, the kaleidoscope top, that fits her perfectly. There's nothing wrong with that one, right? No. It doesn't feel weird in any way. But somehow, when I'm making something for me, I keep messing up. The first cardigan I made for myself, I did the gauge swatch and everything, except I didn't block the gauge swatch, so now it is so stretched out. And that's the first one. The second cardigan I made for myself, I messed up the sleeves. 1 sleeve is bigger than the other. So you'll see one, I'm not wearing it right now, but 1 sleeve is droopy and 1 is like against my wrist. It'd be nice if I get this one right. It really is. If I get this one right, I think I will make the same pattern again, but I have like 3 skeins, 3 hanks of Noro. It's not enough to make it, but I have 3 of them, and I could mix it with some other color, and like a solid color maybe, and have it like the bottom be the Noro and the top be a solid color. If I can make this one work, I am seriously thinking about using the Noro and making myself a cardigan with the Noro. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Like, I just need to have the confidence that I won't mess up before I use my expensive yarn on this. This one, by the way, is Premier DK Colors Batik in the colorway Rosy Posy. I just ordered. I didn't order before I left because I was afraid it would come while I wasn't here. I just ordered another skein, another cake of it, and hopefully it'll get here soon so I could finish this cardigan. It is probably not going to be cardigan weather when I finish it. This, even though it's 3-weight yarn, feels a little heavy for the summer. So I probably won't wear it until like early fall. Yeah, but I am happy with how it looks. It does seem to, it is a little bit like it doesn't fit. Like when I put it on, it doesn't close, and I'm okay with that because of the amount of stretching the first cardigan had. And I figured that once it stretches, once I wear it a little bit, it'll stretch and it will close like that. But here it is right now. This is called the Cafe Breve cardigan. All links will be down below. I will link every pattern that I've used. I haven't used any of my own patterns that I don't have a link for, so I will use, everything will be linked below. Oh, I'm using a eye hook, which is 5.5 millimeters. And yeah, it'll be linked below. I think it's from Crochet Foundry, the magazine. that this was first published in, but I just bought the pattern individually. I didn't get the magazine. I'm hoping, oh my gosh, I am hoping that this works out. I am.
Feel better.
When it works out, I'll feel better. Right now, I'm a little anxious about it, but it's in my Canadian crotcheter bag, and so I'm taking Canadian crotcheter vibes, hopefully. She makes a lot of sweaters, wearables. So hopefully this time I'll get it right. But honestly, all the sweaters I made was in that bag, so. It takes practice. It takes practice to get something right. Hopefully practicing twice and getting the third sweater right will happen for me, hopefully. But anyways, that is all the stuff I've been working on for the past little while. Yeah. So I did really speed through my FOs, and I didn't think I would have time to tell you about what happened on my way back, and why I didn't have a video last week. But, you know, I'm 20 minutes in. I think I'll just say real quickly what happened. So our flight was for Friday night, Vancouver time. And by the time we were supposed to reach New York, it would be Saturday morning around 8, 9-ish, New York time. So we got on the plane. There's an hour layover in Montreal, and we were supposed to catch a plane.
That was not an hour.
Okay, there was an hour layover in Montreal, and we were supposed to catch our connecting and then come home. So we landed in Montreal, and literally the only thing we did was go to the washroom, and we ran. So we were in the domestic terminal, and we had to go to the American terminal. So there's 3 terminals in the Montreal airport. There's the international, there is the US flights, and there's the domestic. So since we came from Vancouver, which is in Canada, we landed in the domestic, and we had to go to the American terminal. So we went. And when I say we went, we weren't walking leisurely. We were practically running. We were walking fast. And we hit the lines because I know we're going to hit the passport check, because obviously we didn't do it in Vancouver because you're coming to Montreal. We'd have to do the passport check. There's going to be a security check. I know all this. Although, to tell you the truth, the security check, we literally just got off a plane and we landed on an airport where everything in the airport is already approved to get onto a plane. Where are you going to get anything different? They did the security check before we got into Vancouver, but whatever. On the plane in Vancouver, whatever. We have to go through the security check where they x-ray our bags to make sure we're not smuggling anything into the plane that we're not supposed to, which again, we did that in Vancouver before we got onto the plane. And we were in no other place except for the plane and the Montreal airport in between. This is not a Montreal airport thing. This is an every airport thing, which I think is just... But anyways, we were in that line. And we have like 20 minutes more left for our plane, and I'm starting to sweat. My husband's like, we're not making this flight. And I'm like, yeah, it does look like this. And they start calling people out, but they're not calling us out. They're not calling New York passengers out. They're calling like Washington passengers, which are the same time as ours. Then finally they call us. We run. We go to the security check. In the security check, you have to take off any clothes, any jackets or overcoats you're wearing. You have to take off your shoes, and you have to take off all electronics from your bag. That takes time. We did all that. We went through the security check. Obviously, we had nothing because we literally got off the plane, was in the airport, and was still in the airport. So we had nothing. There was no problem with that. It was just the time it takes to take everything out and then put everything back on. Like we had to put our shoes on and everything. Okay, we're 4 people. We run into the line and we're waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're not calling us. And then my husband looks at the time. He goes, we missed our flight. Like there's 5 minutes left. So I said, excuse me, there's 5 minutes. She goes, we already called you guys, the last one. And I'm like, well, we weren't here. We were in the security. He goes, it's too late. You missed your flight. So now we're waiting in line. We're at the front of the line, but he's letting everybody else who has a flight that they can actually catch go in front of us. So we're waiting. We were in that line for, I don't know, 50 minutes, an hour, in the front of it for so long. We finally get on there, we do our passport checks, that takes no time at all, and then we have to go over to the counter to get a new flight. So we get another flight, okay, it's around 8:30. At this particular time, maybe 8:40-ish, we get another flight, it's at 3 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, you know, my parents live here, so let's go to my parents' house, visit with my parents for a few hours, and then come back to the airport. We'd have to do the whole security check and the scanning our bags again, but we could come back with enough time to do all that and then come back for that next flight instead of sitting in the airport the whole time. And they're like, no, this isn't a layover. This is because you missed your flight, so you can't leave the airport. We're there. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 maybe, and we're going to be there till 3 o'clock in the airport with 2 children. So we're there, we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and they keep changing the gates on us, so we're like sitting, and then we're going to another place, and then we're going to another place, and then we're coming back, and blah, blah, blah. But finally, it's time for our flight. We're in the right gate. We spent our day basically sitting around. I was reading. My daughter read a little bit, played video games. My son found a little playground. He played on for a little bit, read a little bit. Well, I don't know, whatever you did, you did. Okay? We were bored out of our minds. We went to like the little stores, which, you know, there's like 3 stores there. You get bored after a while, right? Finally, the time came. We're there. We're in our terminal. They're going to call us any second. And then they tell us that the flight's been delayed. And they'll let us know in half an hour. In half an hour, they let us know that the flight has been canceled. And they will automatically send us updates on what our next ticket will be. So I told my husband, we're going to my parents' house. We're not sleeping in the airport. Like, seriously, even if you get like a hotel, I bet you the hotel's filled because all the flights to New York were canceled. So we talked about it. We decided, okay, I'm going to go to my parents. I call my parents, and they're like, my dad's like, I'm leaving now. I'm like, wait, let us just get our tickets, and then we'll come. It took like an hour and a half for us to get like our information of the tickets for the next flight. An hour and a half. Finally, my dad came over. We went. We had supper at my mom's and my parents. We slept there till like 2 o'clock in the morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then we had to come back to the airport. We got on the plane, and this is like awful, isn't it? We got onto the plane, and they're like, okay, they gave us better seats than what we paid for. We got onto the better seats. We're sitting on the airplane. The airplane is not moving. It's just sitting there. And it's just sitting there. And it's just sitting there. And they said there's a malfunction on the airplane. So we all had to get out of the airplane, go to a different terminal, and sit there and wait. And wait. And wait some more until they got another plane. And then they reboarded us. And then we took the, 45-minute trip from Montreal to JFK to get back to New York. It was, Anyways, we finally made it home. Obviously, I did not film because by the time we got home, it was Sunday morning. I was so tired. I think I slept the whole day. And I had to wake up the next morning for work. My kids had to wake up the next morning for school, and none of us wanted to wake up, and none of us wanted to go anywhere. But we forced ourselves, and we went. And that is the story of our trip back. But anyways, it's been 30 minutes now, so I'm going to let you go. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a long time coming. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to hear more from me, please subscribe. Anyways, I'll talk to you again next week. Hopefully, nothing will stop me next week. Anyways, I'll talk to you next week. Bye.